it was an amazing experience. So I guess back in March, earlier this year, they have this event in Suzuka called the Sound of Engines. It's in Japan. They asked if I would come over and sign autographs and do some media and some press. And it's been 20 years since I'd been to back to Suzuka, so I thought, yeah, this could be fun. And then they asked if I wanted to ride a motorcycle, and when I thought it was a joke when I first heard, when they first told me that, so I didn't really take it serious. But then Eddie Lawson and Kenny Roberts, they started asking me about, what do you think about riding this bike? And I said, I have no desire to ride. And so that went on for like 6 months. And then this event was in November, and my birthday is October. And something happened around my birthday time where I just woke up one day and I thought about this riding a motorcycle at Suzuka, and I thought, why not? And I don't know where it came from, but it was just in my mind. So I told my wife what I was thinking, and she said, what are you thinking? Why now? Why after all these years do you want to do this? And I didn't really have a good answer. So I asked the organizers if they could send all the equipment over to America so I could ride it and I could have a very calm atmosphere around it. So they did. And so I had Alpine Star. They helped me with building special leathers, and Shoei helped with the helmet, Dunlop tires, of course. So we made this thing happen. Yamaha US too. And so when I got on the bike for the very first time, the only thing, I'm a paraplegic, and so my feeling stops about where my chest is. So I cannot feel the foot pegs. I can't feel the seat. I can only feel the handlebars. So this setup was very strange. When I did set on the bike, I could feel the bars, and the bars were very low. And so we started the bike up, and they clipped my feet in like it does like on bicycle clips. And right before I took off, I just thought about 26 years ago when I rode, we used to have to turn the fuel on the petcock. And I didn't want to like start and go around the track and then they forget to turn the fuel on, and then I just have to tip over. So I asked the crew chief, I said, you guys got the fuel on, the petcock on? And the guy looked at me and says, we haven't had petcocks in 20 years. So I said, wow, a lot's changed since then. But so I put my shield down, I stuck it in gear, and I just let the clutch out real easy. And immediately the bike started to fall over. And so I kind of counter steered to get it going the other direction. And I was headed towards the wall. And I was already in a lot of trouble immediately. So I just gave it more throttle, and then it straightened up and everything was fine. But when I actually went out onto the track, I was thinking about what had just happened. So I was a little bit concerned that I wasn't sure I was making the right decision to go out and ride a motorcycle after 26 years. But anyhow, it all went well. I did a couple laps there at this racetrack called Buttonwillow. And I think I did 3 laps the first run, and then I thought about what I was doing, and then I got back on the bike, and then I was flying after that. It was a lot better. Yeah. What was really strange was to be on the bike again, to have my helmet on, my leathers, and I'm on the racetrack, and I'm riding this motorcycle. So this was, it was very different from what I was normally used to, but 26 years is a long time. So that was a bit strange, but I did feel a little bit competitive when I went to Japan, because I had decided to go over there and do it. All of my gear, my leathers and my helmet, they did not arrive in time for this event that started on Friday. So I couldn't ride Friday, and I was going to do a practice run at Suzuka on Friday. So my gear showed up late Friday night. So I had asked the organizers, can I ride on the back part of Suzuka? And they said yes. And so I took Kenny and my wife and my son, Rex. He had never seen me ride. He wasn't at the event there in California. There was 7 or 8 of the Japanese, and then Nabu Aoki. He's one of the brothers that helped set it up. So we pitted on the back straight at Suzuka, and then I think the fast corner at the end of Suzuka is like 130R, I think is what they call it. So we started on the back straight. I had all my leathers on, and I took off, and I went in, and I was riding around the back part of the track. And so being on the track and going through the corners at Suzuka on this bike, the emotions I had was, one, I have never felt in my entire life on a motorcycle. It was like I was living a dream. It was like I was in a dream. This wasn't even real. And I was loving it. I immediately thought back to my last race in 1993, and I had a really big fight with Kevin and Daryl Beatty and Ito, the Honda Japanese rider. And I ended up winning that race. And I was on the track again 26 years later, experiencing those feelings. And so I was really, really happy about that. So that was, nobody was there with, it was just Kenny and everybody. But when I pulled up, I could see everybody that was waiting for me. They were all very happy that they experienced this, So I didn't realize that they also had some emotions from watching this as well. So, but Saturday, me and Kenny rode together, and Eddie. So that was a lot of fun. That's the first time we had ever been on the track together, but we had rode the front part of the Suzuka. But on Sunday, Takuma Aoki, he's also paralyzed, and he had a Marc Marquez replica bike. And he has ridden 7 or 8 times. He had developed this particular shifting system that I was using. But some strange reason I felt with him being there, I could not embarrass myself and be too slow, So I had to show him that, hey, I can still go fairly well. So we had a deal where I went first, then Aoki went second, and then it was Kenny and Eddie. So they based everything off the lap times that I did the day before. But now, when I was putting my boots on, getting ready to go, my wife sensed that. She goes, you feel like you're a little bit like you used to when you raced. And she goes, I didn't come all the way over here. She goes, you didn't come all the way over here to have these feelings. You come over here to have fun. So I had to remember that, yeah, I'm not going to try to race anybody here, but on the track, I ended up going, well, the deal was all 4 of us after 3 laps were supposed to come across the start-finish line together. But when I went and I knew Aoki was behind me, I ended up going 40 seconds a lap faster than the day before. So I crossed the finish line first and I got the checkered flag, and I was the only one happy about it. Everybody else was upset because I went too fast. For me to go faster than I had been riding, I had to think about it. Because I was not comfortable riding the bike. So to go 40 seconds a lap faster when I was already uncomfortable going 40 seconds a lap slower, to go that much faster was, it surprised me that I still had this urgency to try to do everything a little bit quicker. So it was a great, I had so much fun, and I can still feel the emotions now. It's been a couple weeks. I was completely surprised and overwhelmed with, I was so happy to see all the comments from all the fans that watch this video. We did not expect that. So it was good that people still remembered. They still remembered, what I did. And then to be back out there, I think maybe it even gave them a little, the fans motivation that, hey, this guy's out there doing it again. If I'm having a tough day, let's go out there and try to go for it again. I've already had a few opportunities at some pretty special events, but I don't know if I could ever top what we just did. The events are they look really interesting, but at this time, I haven't made a decision. because it is for me. It's a big effort, and I don't want to make any mistakes. And I really enjoyed just doing it, and I'm satisfied with just those two rides. But I've learned to say never. And now that I've ridden the motorcycle again, I feel I'm much more in tune with answering questions because I just did it again. So I'm really glad I rode the bikes. I was like I said, I'm really honored that the fans remembered and would say all those nice comments that they did. And so maybe you'll see me out there again soon.